Alright, so this video picks up where the car is running and it was driving fine, except for I had this weird clunking kind of noise. It really sounded like the wheel was gonna fall off or something. And anyway, it turned out being that the axle on the driver's side wasn't being held in place. The stub shaft wasn't being held in place correctly, and that's because one of these bearings, it's actually on the other side, was all wore out, and it wasn't holding the end of the stub shaft for the CV axle, wasn't holding that straight, so it was wobbling around and creating a bunch of noise. So it would drive around town at 25-30 miles an hour fine, but as soon as you get on the highway, it would sound terrible. It'd be a massive vibration, sounded bad. So that's where this video picks up. Basically, I ripped the transmission out and swapped it as fast as I could because, one, I wanted to keep the content rolling, and pulling the transmission out again is repetitive and I don't feel like anybody wanted to watch it. So I knocked that out really quick and got my other spare transmission in. And then this bearing, I don't believe can be changed. It's both sides, I believe. I don't know as though those can be changed, but either way, I had a spare transmission, $0, just swapped it out. It was just a lot of work. So actually, if you look at this bearing on the inside here, you can actually see where the bearing is all screwed up right here. So towards the inside, there's like a little lip. It actually tapers, and so that wasn't holding the stub shaft straight. And so to get that bearing out, I don't believe that you can change. Maybe you can, but we just changed the transmission, and so no big deal. Got that swapped over. Everything was pretty much had recently been taken apart, so that didn't make things too bad. So now it's going back together, and here I'm confronted with the exhaust and the O2 sensor issue. So basically with these cars, the O2 sensor goes like right here, just past this flange, and it goes straight up. Well, you can see the way this is sitting, there really isn't any room right here. It basically would come up and hit the top of this, or hit the bottom of that oil pan and cause me some problems. So the reason that is I guess throughout the years of ownership, this header can get hit and pushed back, and you can actually see a couple dents right here and some dents there. And so I imagine that, once it gets heated up from running, it maybe gets at least a little easier to bend, and that, and combined with actually hitting something, is enough to tweak it. I actually took a hammer, a sledge, and was trying to straighten it out a little bit, and didn't really have any luck. It has a lot of spring in it, so I was able to take a pry bar and put in behind here and actually pry against it, and even that didn't really do anything. It just is really pretty stiff. So I am going to come up with some way to relocate the O2 sensor so that even though this is bent, we can still use it. This is the catalytic converter. This is basically the leading edge that would mate up with that flange that you just saw on the header, and you can see how the remnants of the O2 sensor is kind of kicked forward, and that's basically because it impacted the side of the engine and tweaked the bung a little bit. So we'll see if I can't maybe put a different location here for the bung or something like that, or put it in the header. I haven't really decided what we're gonna do there, but the downstream seems to be okay. It was pretty close to the axle, but I think it's gonna be okay, and we'll just see how this all works out. Alright, so I pulled the header off here, and we kind of decided on a landing spot for the O2 sensor. We're gonna go there, and then I just went to Napa and just got just a regular old bung here, and it has like kind of a curved surface, so it should just sit right nice like that, and hopefully stay out of the way of anything that's too hot. Obviously the wires for the O2 sensor should be able to handle it, but we'll kind of lean it a way that we can. And so we're going to drill through and get on the inside here and probably poke through somewhere right there. Alright, so I got that welded on there, just kind of went around and did some tacks, and turned out really nice. And so now I can see about getting this thing re-wrapped, because the wrap was all screwed up and basically shedding. So I don't know, I might nip those little studs off of there. We'll just see how it all turns out, but see if I can find some in town first. Alright, so we spent about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, something like that, wrapping this entire header. And so I used this DEI titanium exhaust wrap, whatever. This is what they had at O'Reilly's. There's the part number right there. So what we did was we started at the base right here. Here's my new O2 sensor bung. Started right here and then started wrapping up this pipe. This be the furthest passenger side tube, and we wrapped the whole thing. And when we came here, we just diverted and went up this header pipe. Then we came back, started back on this other one, ran all the way up again the front side. And then when we did these secondary pipes, kind of I'm going to call them, we just started back here and went up, started right here and went up, and that's it. That's all we had to do. And so actually this one right here, I actually took the little tabs off of here, and I actually hammered one and popped a hole in the end of the header. So I'm going to weld that up. It's under here, so this is a temporary one, but yeah, it turned out really nice. And then what we did was took just some stainless wire. This is like a 19 gauge or something like that, 40 thousandths thick. And then I just like doubled it over 2 times, so I got 4 strands. And then basically tied it on the back, right like that. And I think that's gonna work out nicely. You can see here's another tie, and there's another tie. And it'll be more than adequate, I think. I don't know, I wasn't crazy about how the little tie wraps, little steel ones looked. It wasn't great, but I think this will work fine. So this was one 50-foot shot, and I probably have another, I don't know, 6 foot left probably when I'm done. Not really a whole lot. So yeah, it was a pretty decent little process, and you know, kind of spendy. The stuff is kind of spendy, but I think it turned out really nice, and I'm excited to put it on the car. Alright, so I have my beautiful header here that's just been wrapped, and so I went to go patch that hole right there, and that turned out alright. Just use the MIG welder and kind of just hit little spot till you finally get it closed. So that should be okay. I'm going to clean off whatever is on the inside here. I haven't even really looked, but clean off whatever came through there and kind of smooth that out, and smooth this out, and then I'll finish up my wrap, and we'll be good as new. Alright, well that looks great. No issues there, and actually on the inside it looks really good too. No issues, no worse than any of these other ones where they had the things welded on. So anyway, that looks good. Now I think we'll finish up the wrap. Alright, well this one looks really nice now, and that finishes off this entire header. And so I'll get that thing fitted up in the car and get my O2 sensor finally, and that should be a nice improvement. Alright, so there's my my steel bent header installed, and my new O2 bung right here. And you can see there's a good amount of clearance there, even for the larger, I guess this Motorcraft one is like a Bosch version, I think. And originally it may have come with a slightly different O2 sensor. So anyway, this will work just fine. Got her plugged in, and now we'll go put the cat up. It goes up over the top of the steering, and then continue on our way back with that dumpster exhaust. I'm not sure how everything's gonna fit, because like I say, previous owner cut a section out, actually right there. That's a cut section where they took the I don't know, I suppose it was a muffler out. So it's plenty loud. Otherwise I would have just gone with the off-road pipe right here and skipped all this mess, but I kind of need the cat to make it, you know, pretty quiet, or at least somewhat bearable. So anyway, that's what we're gonna get set up here. All right, so I started it, and it did start up. You can see the smoke coming off of those that wrap. It's probably gonna get pretty warm pretty quick. So we'll take it out for a little around the parking lot and see how it does.